Good day, mate.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate. Good day, mate. Good day, mate.
Today we will be talking about the amazing marine biologist Steve Irwin, who, unlike most people that tremble at the sight of dangerous creatures, Steve would embrace those species for who they actually are. Nothing fazed him, not the sharks or the killer jellyfish, nor the man-eating crocodiles, nor the dozens of snakes or spiders that are capable of delivering a fatal bite. For Irwin, animals were like a magnet. He appeared to have no fear.
So who was Steve Irwin? He was most commonly known as the crocodile hunter. A little bit about his life before we get to the good stuff. Steve was born February 22nd, 1962 in Baton Rouge, Australia. He was an Australian zookeeper, a passionate conservationist, and a television personality. Irwin founded the Steve Irwin Foundation, which became an independent charity and was later named Wildlife Warriors Worldwide. Steve also helped found several foundations such as International Crocodile Rescue, the Lynn Irwin Memorial Fund, the Ironbark Station Wildlife Rehab Facility, and several other organizations. Sadly, Steve was taken from this earth way too soon. He died by stingray piercing his heart while filming a documentary called Ocean's Deadliest. His death date was September 4, 2006. As a tribute to Steve, we will be talking about several aspects of conservation that he has impacted.
Steve Irwin was a passionate conservationist and believed in promoting environmentalism by sharing his excitement with the natural world rather than preaching to other people. He was concerned with the endangered animals and the land clearing leading to the loss of habitat. He considered conservation to be one of the most important parts of his work. Quoting Steve, "I myself am a wildlife warrior. My mission is to save the world's endangered species." Now, being a wildlife warrior, his organization partnered with the University of Queensland in the conservation of the gray nurse shark. These sharks were extensively hunted and killed since the 1950s, when they were mistakenly conceived as man-eaters. Today, it is an endangered species to number only 1,000 on the Australian East Coast. So dedicated to recovering these shark species, wildlife warriors are researching these gray nurse sharks' gestation sites to offer protection to the breeding grounds. But this is done using Croc 1, which is Steve Irwin's vessel designed for marine research purposes. So along with saving the gray nurse sharks, Steve Irwin was also involved in the conservation of whales. So whaling persists today because the demand of whale meat, oil, and other commercial value purposes such as cosmetic products or health supplements. So Steve Irwin and his wildlife warriors partnered with Sea Shepherd, a marine wildlife conservation organization committed to ending whaling. And in honor of Steve's passion of saving these whales, the Sea Shepherd has changed their vessel's name to the Steve Irwin in 2007. Lastly, the biggest and most famous conservation effort tackled by Steve Irwin was the crocodiles. He began his crocodile research in the 1980s, where his capture and study techniques still remain the best still to this day. With this partnership with the University of Queensland, they now manage the largest and most successful croc research project in the world utilizing these very techniques. So each August, a team of croc experts, conservationists, scientists, and media join the Irwin family for the trip to Steve Irwin's Wildlife Reserve on Queensland, Cape York Peninsula. Through research conducted, it was discovered that these crocs can live underwater for more than 7 hours. Wildlife warriors unlock the secret to their diet, vital information to their movement patterns, and much more to aid in this conservation effort of these incredible apex predators. These findings have contributed significantly to the knowledge base of crocodilians, with a large focus of the project being to educate those that live within the crocodile's habitat. So now, the world-renowned research that Steve Irwin used consisted of tagging and tracking the crocodiles in the Wenlock River using acoustic technology, satellite transmitters, monitoring crocodile behavior and their movement and physiology, collecting samples from crocs to sample the foods that they are eating, vital research uncovering the distance that they actually move, the ability for them to return to their home range after relocating, and revolutionary findings on their ability to remain submerged underwater and their behaviors during flooding events. They also had findings that were critical to managing the coexistence between crocodiles and people.
Irwin was highly involved with several marine protected areas as well as other sanctuaries for animals. His passion to protect animals and their habitats derived from his parents, who participated in early efforts to protect Australia's wild reptiles. At the age of 8, Steve and his father began working for East Coast Crocodile Management Program. The East Coast Crocodile Management Program was a government-sponsored project to reduce crocodile hunting by relocating the animals to less populated areas or to sanctuaries, including the Beerwah Park. Not only did Steve start at an early age, but he and his family established private wildlife refuges in Australia and founded international organization Wildlife Warriors Worldwide to promote wildlife conservation, education, and research. A little bit about Wildlife Warriors Worldwide. It is a way to involve and include other caring people in the protection of injured, threatened, and endangered wildlife species. Their goal is to be the most effective wildlife conservation organization in the world through the delivery of outstanding outcome-based programs and projects inclusive of humanity, which they have been successful in thus far. So what are the benefits of MPAs, or marine protected areas? Well, there are several, but just to list a few, MPAs maintain a healthy marine environment, allow recovery of degraded habitats or depleted populations of plants, fish, and other species, provide opportunities for scientific research and community education, protect the natural beauty of our coast and oceans, enhancing nature-based recreational opportunities. They protect sites of cultural importance for local communities and provide opportunities for community involvement for caring for our coast and oceans. Irwin believed in these benefits, and because he was so passionate about the work he was doing, when he passed, his family decided to launch a multi-million-pound campaign to save Australia's Great Barrier Reef.
Steve Irwin will forever be remembered as a man unafraid of nature's greatest dangers. Some of his last work before his tragic death was filming and working on the show Ocean's Deadly. During the show, Steve and his crew would explore the oceans, discovering the world's dangerous sea creatures. For example, in the show's pilot, Steve Irwin explored the waters of Australia hoping to find stonefish, a poisonous, rock-looking like fish, all with the hopes of conducting research on these fishes. The show ultimately aimed to raise awareness to the greater public around unheard, interesting sea species. The show went above and beyond simply entertaining the public with dangerous sea species. During the show, Steve would spend a lot of time discussing the environment of these sea species and the importance of maintaining these environments. The show went above and beyond simply entertaining the public with dangerous sea endeavors, however. The show spent a lot of its air minutes talking about the coral reefs and the importance of protecting coral reefs or the greater ocean, as these coral reefs serve as the habitats of most of these species. The show didn't just speak of dangerous, endangered species, but also spent a lot of time discussing the importance of maintaining their homes. Steve made sure to spend a lot of time discussing the dangers of not maintaining our oceans and not maintaining the wildlife habitats. The show conducted research on these species as a means of determining the damage that's been done to the environment of these endangered species. Ultimately, by conducting this research, Steve Irwin wasn't just raising awareness around these endangered species, but also around the importance of maintaining our oceans.
In conclusion, Irwin emphasized the importance of protecting threatened and endangered species of all kinds.
Steve said, quote, "I believe that education is all about being excited about something. That's the main aim in our entire lives, to promote education about wildlife in wilderness areas, save habitats, save endangered species, and so on. So if we get people excited about animals, then by crikey, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to save them. We think that this is something that everyone should strive for in order to help save the world. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed watching our video.